Hey guys, tonight we travel across a sea of grass so vast that your phone's GPS would just give up and spin forever. You're somewhere in the 13th century steppe, where the horizon has no edges and the wind insists on rearranging your hair until you look vaguely heroic. Horses snort mist into the morning chill, saddles creak, and in the distance a rider blurs into view, one of Genghis Khan's messengers, galloping as if the fate of the empire depends on whatever scrap of parchment he's hiding under his tunic. You probably wouldn't survive this ride. Your thighs would give out by the second hour, but don't worry, you're just here to observe. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. I'd also love to know where you're listening from tonight and what time it is where you are. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You ride into the story, feeling the wind press against your cheeks. The steppe stretches endlessly, a muted carpet of dry gold and silver sage. Somewhere in this immensity, Genghis Khan had a problem. His empire was too big. He could conquer faster than he could communicate, and messages on horseback were the arteries that kept this colossus alive. So he designed the Ortu, a relay network that later Europeans would call the Mongol postal system. It was simple, terrifyingly efficient, and absolutely not optional for anyone living under Mongol rule. Every 30 or 40 kilometers, a relay post waited with fresh horses, food, and a host ready to shout, "Next rider," before the exhausted courier could even dismount. You imagine that baton-like exchange, leather satchels slapping into new hands, hooves kicking up dust like gunpowder. A single message could travel from the edge of Korea to the heart of Persia in just a few days, something that in Europe would have taken weeks. Historians still argue whether this was truly the first transcontinental communication system or just the most successful one, but either way, the idea galloped far ahead of its time. Your horse, yes, you have one now, it's dream logic, flicks its ears as you pass another rider heading the opposite way. He barely glances at you. These messengers were bound by duty, secrecy, and sheer leg endurance. They carried royal decrees, military orders, tax receipts, even gossip between generals who pretended not to gossip. In a sense, they were the empire's nervous system. Every gallop a firing neuron. A mainstream fact, Genghis Khan formalized this system around 1200 CE, ensuring that couriers could travel day and night under his imperial seal. The routes covered nearly 50,000 kilometers, making them the largest communication network of the medieval world. But you can't help picturing the fringe bits, the whispered stories of riders who tied themselves to the saddle to avoid falling asleep, or the unlucky few who tried to take a shortcut through wolf territory. One rumor said a rider once delivered a message even after dying mid-route. His horse trained so well it reached the next station on its own. Maybe a myth, maybe a Mongol version of the mail must go through. You reach a small rise and look down over the faint line of posts across the plain. Smoke curls up from one, tonight's stop. The smell of horse sweat and wood smoke mingles with the cool air. Somewhere a dog barks at a shape that might be the moon. You dismount, legs trembling from the day's rhythm, and as you hand off your letter, you feel the ancient hum of organization. Tens of thousands of riders, herders, innkeepers, and administrators keeping this pulse alive.